Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and guys, today we're going to dive into something that's relatively quick and a little bit different than what I normally do, but a ton of you have requested to see my go-to, like a day in the life kind of makeup routine, and this is something that I've been doing as of late, just the way that I throw products on and what I gravitate towards and how I apply it just to get a good, quick, nice, flawless base on the skin that lasts me throughout the day. So that's what we're going to do today. This isn't really like a get ready with me style where it's going to be like slow or chill pace. It's going to be the normal kind of go-to for me and how I apply it and how I do the whole thing, just good and quick and fresh. So let's go ahead and dive in. I already obviously did my brows off of camera. Now brows I typically do off of camera anyways, but especially for this type of makeup routine. But I wanted to throw out there that while I do my brows like this every day, brows are very specific. So for some people, if you're going in with a more natural makeup look and you have natural full brows, you might not have to go in and really shape out and tape your brows. For me, if I don't, I have no brows. So brows are one of those things that is very specific to the face and the overall look. And I find that whether I'm doing a quick look, a simple look, a really in-depth glam look, it doesn't matter. I do tend to want a nice, like shaped out brow because it helps frame out my face. So that's just personal preference, and I wanted to touch on it because a lot of people ask me, you know, how do I know, like, what does it warrant? And I would say for brows especially, brows and foundation coverage are like the two things that are very specific to your personal comfort level and how you feel wearing them. So that's just something to keep in mind while you do it. I went in and I used my Colourpop and Bang & Brunette to get them nice and shaped out. It is my favorite brow pencil. Y'all know it's the T. So from there, we're going to move on to primers, and these have been my two favorites as of late. This is the Tatcha Silk Canvas, and this is the Hollywood Flawless Filter from Charlotte Tilbury, which I did a full face of Charlotte Tilbury, which I will link right up there for you guys. And the reason that I love these is because the Tatcha one goes in and it really does a beautiful job of filling in the pores and not settling down and creating more texture throughout the day. And as far as pore filling primers go, this one is probably my favorite. One of the things that I can tell you as far as how I get ready in the morning is it is whatever is closest, that's what goes on my face. Like, I don't have a rhyme or reason, and I know that that probably sounds so ridiculous, and I feel like other people have way more specified makeup routines, but when it comes down to how I like to get ready in the morning, and especially when it's like my quick routine, I literally just will slather on whatever I have next to me, and it's all about making it work. Also, if you guys keep hearing a humming in the background, I think it just shut off, but the heater is running because, hello, Northern Michigan, it is negative 24 degrees right now. Haha, burr. Now from here, I am going to give myself 2 squirts of the Catrice Dewy Glow setting spray. That is all I like to go in with, and I just find that it helps to really keep the skin nice and luminous as I go through and add the foundation, which at this point you're probably like, Paige, this is not a quick routine at all, but I promise you that as you go through and build layers, it's kind of like building a house in the sense that the better the foundation, the better the outcome at the end. So girl, you build that house on sand, it's gonna wash away with the next tide, but you build it on a foundation that is good and pore filled, and you will have a snatched face all day. So that is how I prefer to do it. Some people don't need this many products before they go in. Some people were also blessed with good glowy skin. I was not one of them, so I like to really build that foundation up on my face before foundation. Wow. Did that make sense? I'm honestly not sure, but let's just pretend it did, and we're going to move on to foundation. Now, as of right now, I am loving the Dior Forever. I have done so many videos on these. I've linked them all. I will continue to link them all because this one and the new Dior Forever Skin Glow option are so freaking stunning on the skin. I did a first impression of the Skin Glow, which I will link, the first impression of this, which I will link, and I did the go back through comparison 2-week update moment, which I will link as well. And those are all of my thoughts on this new foundation. So if you are new and you've been wondering about it, you can check those videos out. Now, my favorite way to go in and apply this is with my Real Technique sponge, which is super nice and affordable from the drugstore. And I just do a nice quick pat over, and at this stage I'm not so much worried about building coverage because I prefer to go in, especially as of late, with a thinner layer of foundation. I find that it just helps keep my makeup looking nice and refreshed throughout the day. It's easier to touch up if and when I need to, but especially with this foundation, it just works better alone and in a single layer on my skin. Like, I'm sorry, pores, never heard of her. She's gone forever. Next up, I'm grabbing my Tarte Shape Tape. This is in Porcelain Beige. I use this to obviously conceal my under eyes, but I also use it to go in, brighten up around the mouth, on the jawline. Y'all know the drill. This doesn't really change even in my quicker routines, meaning whether I'm in a hurry or not, girl, all those Doritos and cupcakes, they're not going to conceal and define themselves. So it's up to me to go in there with that concealer and really just give me some definition, like whoosh. I'm sorry. Hello, cheekbone. How you doing today? I feel like I am flying through this little tutorial. I'm doing great today. So next up, I'm going to grab the Charlotte Tilbury Magic Powder, and I will tell you guys, I absolutely love this powder. The way it looks on the skin is a beautiful situation. However, the way it smells is the worst situation. So if you have a couple minutes in your life that you can just choose not to breathe, this would be that time. But it is so beautiful on the skin that I can't help myself. I still use it because I think it is absolutely beautiful. So we repat out the creases real quick, and we apply it to the under eye. Now, when I ever apply anything first off to the under eye, I always go in with a stunted brush like this. This is the Sigma P82. It's good for getting in there. I'm filling in those little under eye bags before they have a chance to get all kinds of nasty and creasy and crinkly. Now, while I was concealing, I ran a little bit of concealer up onto the lids, which I just like to take my little beauty blender in here, and I just set that area real quick just so it's not all creasy all day. Then with that same powder, I like to grab my jumbo powder brush from IT Cosmetics, and I go in, tap off most of this product, and I lightly tap it all over the face. Now, as you can see, I look good and paper ghost-like, so we're going to move into the bronzer, which yet again, I have been loving this compact from Charlotte Tilbury, which I used in that full video. And that's another thing I'm going to tell you, because I film, a lot of the products I go in with are ones that I have recently filmed with. A, because I like to go in and keep working with them and testing them out, because, hello, that's part of my deal here, is I tell you guys after I use them a lot what I think, and did I end up loving them, and did they become a favorite? And so a lot of the things from that Charlotte Tilbury video that I shot for you guys have become such a staple in my makeup routine. I have fallen in love, so be on the lookout, because when I do January's favorites, y'all, they are going to be in that video. Now, if you're in a hurry and you don't want to reach for your blush, you can always just take a little bit of bronzer and hit it on the apples of your cheeks. And all it really does is kind of give you a little bit of warmth back to that area. It adds a good shape and shadow to the skin, but it doesn't cost you the time of digging out an additional product. Again, not that I don't have blushes sitting right next to me, but again, you don't always need them. It's all about just finding what works for you. And there's a lot of blushes I work with that are actually this tone anyways, so it's like, why waste that time and reach for that other product, girl, if I don't have to? And when I hit that nose, hoo-hoo, just a little bit. And then just because I still have it out in front of me, I will grab the Charlotte Tilbury powder, and I will use a little bit of that up under the eye to re-brighten things, as well as a little bit along the jawline. This is a step obviously you don't need, but I find that it doesn't take me any extra time to do this and let myself have that nice defined jawline and face shape while I go in and add a little bit of bronzer to the crease. So it doesn't add me any substantial time, which is why I do it. But again, personal preference is key. If you're like, hell no, I'm not taking the time to do that, then don't do it. But for me, it's like I might as well let that sit there while I throw some of that bronzer in the crease, which is all I'm gonna do. This is not new. This is something everybody does, but you want to save time in your life, just start throwing that bronzer in the crease. I'm telling you, it is one of the best things I ever started doing. While we're on the topic, bronzer is one of those things, y'all, it's doing three things right now. It's bronzing my skin, it's giving me some blush on the cheeks, and it's going on the lid and giving me a nice little light definition. You can also take your bronzer and run it all over the lid if you want to and give yourself like a natural brown smoky, like a light brown smoky eye, which is a really pretty option. I've done that as well. Or you can grab, if you are using a quad, like this right here, this is the glowy one from Dior, but I have the contour one as well. And a lot of these palettes, whether it's, again, like this one, a glow palette, or the contour palette, they have a dark shade in them that's always too dark for my skin tone. And so you can always take these types of colors right here and just pop them on the outer portion of your eye. But it just adds this nice little depth of color without making you get out another palette, without forcing you to work with anything else. You don't have to do anything special because the palette is already in your hand. Again, if you're working with like a multicolored contour palette or a bronzer palette, a lot of times those all have colors in them that don't work for our skin tone, whether we are light skin tone, medium, or deep skin toned. So it's all about just finding ways that you can still use whatever colors you have available to you that are sitting right there anyways, and just getting something a little bit prettier out of little to no extra work, which is my personal favorite thing to do. So it just adds a little fun, a little depth, nothing too crazy, and I love it. So now we're gonna go in and dust away this bake, which I like to go in with a little bit of my Charlotte Tilbury powder. This is the F30 from Sigma, and I use this powder on the brush while I dust away the bake. And that way there's just no dragging if I happen to hit a patch that has maybe stickier foundation on it still. You don't have to worry about pulling or lifting anything. It just all sweeps right away. And you're kind of replacing it with this beautiful Charlotte Tilbury powder, which has a nice refinement to it. And it just makes the skin look so beautiful and so smooth. And I love it. Before we go in with highlight, we set the face one time, which is something, again, I like to do. It helps press down and remove all the powderiness from the skin and sync all the layers together. And then I go in with highlight, and then I set again, just as a way to really press everything together. And it's all about just making sure that all these layers and all this quick work you're doing lasts throughout the day, because you can have quick and good. And that sounds bad. Let's just set the face. And the Urban Decay All Nighter is one of those options as well that will definitely lock your makeup in place. It almost like has the effect of waterproofing your skin. It is the most bizarre spray, but it is truly so great for long-lasting makeup. I love it. I have sworn by it for so long. So now at this point we are on to highlight, and you can choose. Do you want a nice, like, intense vampy glow? Do you want a more natural glow? And it all depends on your aesthetic when it comes to the coverage you go in with, or the foundation, or the look you're going for in general. And with that said, for me, girl, I am always that blinding queen. I have to have a pop and highlight. It doesn't matter how much foundation or other makeup I have on. The pop and highlight is where I live. It's where I thrive. It is where I exist in life. So I like to go in with that Dior Backstage Glow palette that I was just using, and I will actually mix these two shades right here. And I'll do that with this Pro 5M Furless brush, which is a great big old fan brush. I know a lot of people say that fan brushes are stupid, but when I'm in a hurry, I love them because they just let me go in and I get the entire cheek so quickly, and they give me a beautiful all over cheek glow. They're definitely not for that targeted, you know, highlight effect, but when I'm in a hurry and I want my face to glow, these are just like the way to do it. Like, look at that. And just look at the way that it like lifts the entire cheek and just elevates that whole area. Oh, girl, I love it. And sometimes I feel like getting a little bit extra fun, and I'll go in with just that white shade and hit that on just the very top of the cheekbone right there, just to give me a little extra. And on days like today where my foundation is looking so nice and full coverage, I think that it does add a beautiful pop, like balance to the coverage, to have that nice glow effect on the top of the cheek. So I like to add that in, and then at this time I'll also kind of haphazardly hit it to the brow bone, because your girl ain't got time to go in there with all these little brushes. No, not today, girl. And the same also applies to the lid. I like to go in with this same palette, and I will pop on some of that gold shimmer onto the lid here. Nothing too crazy. And this is one of my favorite things to do. It looks like I actually spent time on my lids. It looks like I gave a flying shit, and I did not. Girl, I did not give not one. Nuh-uh, honey. I let them fly right on by. And also, when it comes to using kits like this, I just want to throw this out there. I've already showed you guys today how I use these three, but if you want to go in and instead of putting the bronzer in the crease, if you want to take your blush, say you're working with like a nice mauvey berry toned blush, and you wanted to throw that in the crease instead and have a pink nude eye instead of like a bronze nude eye, you can go in, throw your blush in the crease, and then take whatever pink highlight you have in the kit, because a lot of kits like this always have like a light, a medium, a deep, and then a pinkish or purplish tone, and you can take that and put it on the lid instead of the gold, and it looks perfect as well. And it's, again, quick and nice and nude, but brightening to the eye. And then from here, it is time to set, which yet again, I will grab my Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray. Oh, and if you're wondering, I do go in first with setting sprays, and then the last two items that ever go on my face, mascara, lipstick. Because otherwise, girl, I run like an oil painting. So it is not an option over here. I always set first. If you have an issue with mascara that transfers, don't set your face after you put on mascara, because girl, it does it to me all the time, and I finally learned my lesson. I finally stopped beating my head up against that wall, and God, did it feel good. And then I grab my Catrice Dewy Glow Setting Spray. Now, in the interest of this being the mascara that's sitting right in front of me, I am going to grab my KK Beauty Mascara in black, and I've just been testing this out. I picked up a couple of things from her website. Y'all, I don't know why I do this to myself. Her mascara is so sticky. Like, when I first bought it, it looked so good, and now it's like, just, oh my God, sticky. I'm actually gonna switch over and grab this Lash Paradise, and we're gonna use this one today. And then when it comes to lips, there are two really good, fun, fresh ways you can get your lips looking nice and ready to go without a ton of work. So the first one, which is probably what I'm going to try today, as long as it matches my look, will be going in with a lip liner, running that on the outline of the lips, and then kind of smudging it with your finger, going in with a gloss over top. That is one of my favorite ways to get nice, defined lips that look good, full, bold. They look glossy, they look sexy, they look just so good. You know what I'm talking about? Like, I love a good glossy lip, but if you don't want to go through and deal with the lip liner and the gloss option, or if you want something a little bit more sustainable throughout the day that you might not have bleeding with as far as bleeding outside the lines, because girl, I can lip line all day till my little heart is content and my lips will still feather. Like, it is the way of the people. I've learned to grow and accept it, and I still love gloss, so it doesn't matter. But if you don't want to go the gloss route, you can also go with a nice cream lipstick and just line your lips out with that, fill them in, call it a day. And I love them because they look more natural, they look more healthy, they have a nice sheen to them. And whenever I'm going for this type of a look, I feel like going in with a more, again, glossy or cream kind of finish just looks better on the skin and more cohesive with the nice glowy skin that I have going on. So it is a matter of personal preference, but for me, those are like the go-to. Those are the only options. The only time I typically go with a matte liquid lipstick, or even a matte lipstick in general, is if it's like full glam, full beat, and then I'm like, oh, I want to look so sassy, sophisticated, and then I go in with that matte lip and I'm just like snatched. That is not today. Today, it's all about comfort and happiness and looking good and glossy and sexy. So let's go ahead and try it out. I'm going to see if I like this color combo, because typically I don't wear a pink nude on the lips with a brown nude in the crease, but it also doesn't look bad. I just don't do it all the time. So I'm going to see if maybe I should push myself outside of that comfort zone, or if it's like, no, stay in your comfort zone, girl. It looks good. So this is the Buxom lip liner in Dolly Danger. Yes, girl. Line those crooked ass lips. Kind of smudge it with your finger, or you can just with your lips, whatever works for you. It depends on how malleable the liner is. But then on top of that, I'm going to grab the ABH gloss in the shade Kristen, and I'm going to pop that all over the lips. Okay, you guys, that is it for this video. That is it for my face. This has been the look of the century for me as of late. Like, I have been wearing this so much, and yes, a couple of the products might have changed here or there, but for the past, I would say 2 months on my day-to-day basis, whether I'm going for a lunch, whether I'm going to work, whether I'm going to anywhere, it does not matter. This has been the face I've been gravitating toward. Just a nice glowy look that everything is very cohesive and more natural, but still looks good and snatched. Like, this is my dream. This is where I live. This is what I've been obsessed with. Now, I also want to throw out here that while this video obviously took me a little longer to film, I was talking, I had little things that I threw in here and there. This makeup look for me, because I have it so nice and down pat, usually takes between 20 and 30, 35 minutes, depending on the brows, because sometimes they get a little finicky. But I can usually do this look in under a half hour, and it's just a good, fun go-to look for me personally. Now, what we each like individually as far as a good go-to look, a full coverage, a medium coverage, or hey, that's too much, that's obviously going to vary based on your personal preference. So whether you take and you incorporate several areas of my routine or none of them, I just wanted to throw it out there for you guys, because so many of you do ask me on my other social medias as well as down in the comments, like, girl, what you got going on in your face? What is happening? And this has been the stick to routine for quite some time now. Yes, like I said, some of the products may have changed, but for the most part, this is what I have just been loving so much, as far as a good glowy base, just giving me good coverage and just overall like a nice flawless moment that I'm like, I'm gonna face the day today. I'm gonna kick its ass. Like, this is that look and I'm loving it. So you guys can tell me down below, number one, do you love it? Is this something that you would totally do, or is it something you do? Yes or no? Thoughts. 2, I want to know things you would incorporate, things you would want to see me incorporate, things that you think could help. Also, tips and tricks you have for your more natural days, because y'all know I love all the good tips and tricks, because let's face it, the comment section knows a lot of good tips. And then also, I do want to know, while you're down there, what do you guys think as far as me doing a traditional get ready with me? I have not done like a Q&A style get ready with me in a long time. So if that's something you want, go ahead and leave the yes down below, as well as any questions, anything you're curious about, anything you would want me to address in a Q&A, and I can get in on that and kind of give you guys just a nice chill sit down. Like, today was kind of the good fast paced, what I'm loving on a day-to-day moment, but it was very formative in that respect. And I want to know if you guys would be curious to see that Q&A style get ready with me, where we just sit back, we talk about any questions you guys might have for me, my life, my skincare, whatever. And so leave that down below if that's something you want to see, or any other videos that you want to see as well. And guys, thank you so much for watching. And oh, also don't forget, if you haven't checked me out on Instagram or on Twitter, those are linked down below in the description box because, y'all, I'm on Instagram all the time. We hang out there. It is a good, fun, fresh place for me to post all my selfies of me, my cats, my dogs, really just a lot of pictures in general that are like my day-to-day life, as well as some fun makeup glam looks. So if you like a little bit of everything, check that out. And if you guys have not done so yet, you can also subscribe and turn on your notifications because, y'all, I put up new videos 5 days a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. They go up bright and early, my time here in northern Michigan, between 6 and 7 a.m. So you can definitely check those out. And it's just a fun way for you to get your day started, and whether you're going to work, getting ready, drinking your coffee, doing your makeup, at work, I don't care what you're doing. And it's just a fun way for a lot of normal people to get to enjoy makeup, the art of makeup, and what's being released. So let me know down below, as always, if there's anything you want to see. And that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Please do not forget to have a great day, night, weekend, whatever it is when you're watching this, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. How long have I been recording for? Yo, not even 14 minutes, and I'm this far. Pfft. Okay, Speed Racer, calm down. You are just kicking ass today. Thinking you could live without me. Thinking you could live without me. Baby, I'm the one who put you up there. And you're coming in. Okay. That was dramatic. Are very specific to your personal comfortable. Why is there so much cat hair on my sleeve? Y'all hear that plow truck outside? Damn. They're pulling out the big guns today, homie. So next up, I'm gonna grab the Charlotte Tilbury. What? Tilfurky? What? Oh, okay, goodbye. Okay, I guess I wasn't gonna use that. That's fine. Concealer. You remind me of the West Side Story.